And it was same enthusiasm, as he talks to 10,000 devotees today, So he gave a class, and I did puja, and I did Vaikalika Bhog. In the morning I did the offering 8:30, and I was walking back for prasadam. And somebody came from behind and holded me from his back like this. And his cheek was here. I couldn't move like that. He was strong. That time Maharaj was 38 and I was 35. Just imagine, we were strong. Both of them. Maharaj was holding like this, but I could just see, it's a white hand. And I could see that's Maharaj. And Maharaj said, that time my name was Varnashram. Said, Varnashram Prabhu, please forgive me. And I got angry in the morning on you. Said, Maharaj, we're Indians, we're used to it, Because, if somebody, elderly person gets angry, we don't keep grudge or anything. If we don't feel, of course, they are trying to correct us, like father, uncle, or even a sannyasi, guru. So that's what I said. Maharaj said, no, that is not my nature. But just to show the importance of Guru Parampara, I acted like I am angry. And Maharaj, he said, please forgive me. And we just came, yes, no. Then we came down. We all used to take prasadam together, 8-10 brahmacharis and Maharaj. So Maharaj was sitting next to me, I was here, and other brahmacharis. And Maharaj was still holding my hand. Are you going to forgive me or not? And somebody started Mahaprasadi Govinda. I said, then I was saved. So I didn't say anything, I kept quiet. And after that, Maharaj went to his room, and I started doing my seva. Again in the time of lunch, Maharaj came. And again he started saying, no, Ashram, did you forgive me? Unless you forgive me, I will not be peaceful, it's disturbing me. Please forgive me. Maharaj said, please don't embrace me like that. So again somebody started Mahaprasadi. I was saved that time also. Now in the evening, in the night, it was about 11, between 11:30, something like that. So I was sleeping. My sleeping was next to the altar because there was no protection at that time, no security, nothing. So I used to sleep just next to Radha Gopinath. There was just in between wall. And Maharaj, that was the first day he came to India, and his bed was next to me. He was sleeping there. And his bed was he is so simple. Just recently Maharaj started using little thick bed. Otherwise previously we just sleep on simple straw mat, chatai. And he will have little thin pillow. And he always had in Mumbai and wherever he traveled, Solapuri chadar. If anybody from Maharashtra knows, that kind of a chadar he will use. So his thing was there, and I was sitting. I was about to sleep. I had my gamcha on. Maharaj had gone to some program, and Maharaj also came, and he was on his gamcha. He came, sat next to me. I said, will you please forgive me? Now I see there is no Mahaprasadi Govinda. This is like otherwise he will just sit there, So he was like, Maharaj, please don't embrace me. There is nothing to forgive. No. Unless you say, I have forgiven you, I will not be able to sleep peacefully. Then I said, Maharaj, it is embracing for me. How I can say that I have forgiven you? No. If you want me to sleep peacefully, you have to forgive me. So it was going on for 2-3 minutes like that. Then I don't know what to say, So then Maharaj said, please, 3 times, please. He held my hand, please forgive me. I said, Maharaj, because you are ordering me, I am telling that I have forgiven you. Then Maharaj said, Hari Bol! Now I can sleep peacefully. So this is the first interaction I had, with Maharaj. Of course, I saw Maharaj before that, but I was not going and talking, or he didn't talk to me or anything. So he was our... that time we didn't have a proper temple president also, Radha Gopinath temple. So Maharaj was everything. Practically he was teaching. So he trained me as a pujari also. Because he did pujari seva in New Vrindavan for many years. So as he was guiding everything, we didn't have much money at that time. We used to go for Harinam Sankirtan twice a week, on Saturday and Wednesday. Whatever vegetable comes, that's the only thing we will use for our prasadam. Also cooking for Radha Gopinath. That's the only vegetables we had. We didn't have any money to buy vegetables at that time. And the rice and wheat and chapati flour, We used to get, because these boys, they used to get as a ration, rice from ration and all this. So not much of opulent of a prasadam, very basic. Practically every day we had dal and rice in different forms, like khichdi one time, sambar rice one time, dal rice one time, kokani dal rice one time, something kind of, but it's just dal and rice. It's so simple. So I had come from Juhu temple, where is the opulent deity service. They had such an opulent deity service. They will have 3 sabjis, 3 dals and 3 sweets and 3 kinds of rice and chapatis and parathas. That's a big plate they offer to Radha Rasbihari. Very opulent. So we didn't have that facility. Radha Gopinath was eating whatever we were eating, simple prasadam, except for one. At 8:30 we used for 8 o'clock offering like dry fruits. We started doing that, and it was not possible. It was too costly, for dry fruits to Radha Gopinath. So I went to Maharaj. He said, the cashier is saying this is too costly, that we do not have enough money to even have dry fruits for Radha Rasbihari. Radha Gopinath. So I asked Maharaj, what should we do? Then Maharaj said, I will teach you simply wonderful. Make simply wonderfuls. So Maharaj taught me how to make simply wonderfuls, made from powdered sugar and milk powder and butter. So you just 3 mix together in proportion and make small balls. That's simply wonderful. So he told me, offer this. I said, okay. So we made that and I offered in the beginning. And after 20 minutes I came to remove the offering, all the laddus were gone. And Maharaj had just told the story of Raghunandan, So then I thought, my God, I am becoming a Raghunandan here. So I didn't say anything to anybody. And the only person to talk to at that time was senior and was Maharaj. There's nobody else. All were brahmacharis. So I said, I kept quiet one day. It is not good to advertise that I have become a pure devotee. In one day. So next day also I offered. Gone. Laddus are gone, Then I said, anything should wait 3 times, right? So 3rd day also I offered the laddus. And they were also gone. Then I could not control myself. So next day I went to Maharaj. I said, Maharaj, last 3 days I am offering laddus. And when I come back, they are not there. Maharaj started laughing like that. And he said, what happens? I said, Maharaj, I don't know. Laddus are not there. Then he said, today you do one thing. That you offer and just, it is not proper, we don't do that. But just to see what is happening, you just open the curtain and see what is happening. I said, okay. Now I am going to see half laddu in Gopinath's hand or something like that. So I just, I did offering and I came out and I just saw it, from the corner of the curtain. All the rats were coming and picking up the laddus and they're going. Now my Raghunandan was gone, So then I realized, because as you heard many times, there were many big rats in the temple and they're going everywhere. So they didn't let even Krishna eat his prasadam too. So then I told Maharaj, and Maharaj said, oh. Then he said, what should we do? Then Maharaj said, put something, close it after you close. Normally we don't do that. After we offer the food, we don't close the food. But Maharaj said, this is emergency, so you can do. So, and he said, get a heavy dhakkan, what is that called? Heavy lid, yeah. So get a heavy, otherwise they will just push it and take it. So we got one heavy lid for that bowl, and it was like that. So that is the kind of a first interactions as a brahmach, as a pujari. So afterwards, Maharaj sent me to Belgaum to start a center. Because already there were many devotees there. As I was preaching through the inland letters, about 20 devotees. So they were chanting 16 rounds there. Most of them my friends from RSS and from my cricket club and from my college and my neighbors like that. So Govind Prabhu was my neighbor. So they were all chanting, and Maharaj said, you are preaching more in Belgaum, you go and preach. So I went there, and congregation started growing. And one day I got a call from Krishna Chandra Prabhu. That time telephones were not common. Some rich man will have telephones at that time. So somehow he got, Mafatlal he's a Mafatlal, big industrialist. So he had a Mafatlal store in Belgaum also. And that was very close to my house where we started preaching. So he called his company man. He said, there is some Hare Krishna people there. You go and find out. There is a person called Varnashram. So, and give him this message. So he came with the message. He said, Saab, phone karne wale hai aapko. My boss is going to call you in 1 hour. So I said, okay, I came. So Krishna Chandra Prabhu, that time he was Hridayananda. And he said, Maharaj wants to come to Belgaum. I said, wow. I didn't have place for me to live. As a brahmachari, I was living every day with some houses. I was going and preaching. Maharaj is coming. We didn't have any facility for Maharaj. So, and I said, what to do? But you cannot say no. I don't want you to say no. Because that time even to get 50 devotees for a program was a big thing. And they were coming in Belgaum. So as Maharaj expressed his desire, so I said, okay, let him come. So that time what we did was old room. We had this, it's in Maharashtra, it's called Wadi. It's a big house divided in many places. So there are 14 tenants staying there. And there was one room which was not opened for 30 years. It was like all the trash was kept there. So we asked the owner, I said, can we use this room because our Guru Maharaj is coming. And he said, okay, but only thing you have to clean it. So we about 10, 15 devotees, we cleaned the room, and it was freshly, we painted it, and cow dung, we cleaned the room, and I kept one, because I knew Maharaj's habits, so I kept one chatai and chadar, I kept Bhagavatam set and Radha Vrindavan Chandra's picture. So first time Maharaj, when he traveled by train, like a normal train. And he came, and we had like he came the day before in around evening time. So we had one program in the evening. So Maharaj went and he took a rest in that room. And later on in the morning we did Mangalarti. There was some local temple, so we did Mangalarti there. And we did Tulsi Puja, like in every house in Maharashtra have a Tulsi outside the house. So that is the Tulsi we did, and we did Tulsi Puja for that. And we all sat for japa. Around 7 o'clock, Maharaj asked me, where do you go for a toilet? I didn't even think about that. So it is like, so just imagine, 14 to 18 houses. From each house there are 3 or 5 people. Everybody, how much they will be rushed in the morning around 7 o'clock. And we had only 2 toilets, at that time. We have to walk about 500 feet behind all these houses. There was a cricket ground we used to play. And we passed that, and then there were 2 toilets over there. And that's for Maharaj also, because we didn't have anything. So Maharaj had his gamcha, and then I took that ASEAN paint, dabba, and I was walking, and Maharaj didn't know what I'm doing, Maharaj said, he was just following me. And when I went there were about 5 people standing in line, and I kept my dabba there, And Maharaj is asking, why these people are standing here? I said, Maharaj, for the same purpose, you are here. Maharaj. But it was such a nice kind of it was a small cricket ground, maybe this big. We had nice trees. There was a parijat, and there was a papaya, there was a mango, and guava trees were there. So Maharaj had not seen parijat tree yet, parijat flower yet. So that it was all parijat was fallen on the floor and everything. And Parijat smells so beautiful in the, so smell. So Maharaj said, what is this sweet, beautiful fragrance coming? And I said, Maharaj, this is a Parijat flower. So I got some Parijat flower and I gave it to him. And then he said, no wonder Krishna went to heavenly planets for this. He remembered the story of Satyabhama, right? Is that Satyabhama? Yeah. He said, no wonder Krishna went for this this is the first time he saw the Parijat flowers. So he was very happy to see those Parijat flowers. Now I was wondering, he was happy, but there are 5 people, so still there. So I requested them, he's a sannyasi, and he's not used to this kind of thing. He's coming from America, and that time I don't know how they go in America. So it's because wherever you are, you think that it's like everywhere in the world is the same thing, right? So for us to stand in a line and go like this for Indian people, we don't mind it because this is what we are raised. So I was also thinking like that, but still I was feeling, this is sannyasi is here. So I requested them, and they let him go. So Maharaj went inside, and I kept the Asian pen dabba, and he closed it, and the door had one small open window like that. And Maharaj puts his head, what I am supposed to do? And Maharaj, there is a, what is that called, a kadi, Hindi में क्या बोलते हैं उसको, क्या बोलते कड़ी ला काम था? कुंडी, हाँ कुंडी, हिंदी में कुंडी होता है, इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Latch. There was a latch inside. You close the latch. And actually it was like a Maharaj probably had never seen even in Vrindavan or in Himalayas, because previous that time, why literally you poop and you can literally see everything falling and all the pigs are coming and eating it. Literally you can see that. Probably Maharaj had never seen it anywhere. He might have seen open. So it was like that. It was all open and everything. It was like a big hole in the ground. So Maharaj somehow he figured out, and Maharaj locked it from inside. And then he opened and he came, and he looked around and smiled at me, and he said, it was a nice experience. So it's so simple, just like now Maharaj has so many facilities and everything. But see how simple he was. And he's, in his heart, he's so simple. Even today, we didn't have any facilities. Even in Chowpatty temple, we didn't have proper toilets or proper bathrooms. And probably we didn't have proper water also at that time. One time I used to get up early in the morning because I had to wake up the deities. And I came to the bathroom and I saw Maharaj. It was like they made a tank. And those old, brass, yellow taps were there with a small key on that. And just to store the water, there was about 1 feet by 3 feet kind of a storage tank was there. And water was just dripping, ting, 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 like that. And Maharaj was sitting under that and he was taking bath. It was so simple. I mean, he never complained. This is how the Radha Gopinath initial days was. There was no, water was not sufficient. Little water will come. So Maharaj, you took bath there. And so it was so simple. Maharaj lived like that. So we had many programs in Belgaum that year, and Maharaj went by train again. So again, next year Maharaj came. He came by train. So he came for 4 days. And at that time we had a land, and but it was too far to go, so we still had a program in the city. So Maharaj did programs in the city. He met the devotees there. And Govind Prabhu had just become brahmachari. And his father was very angry with me because he thought that I preached to him. So he was very upset, and whenever he used to see me, he was like Hiranyakashipu, like red eyes and everything. When I will kill you. Literally one day he just grabbed my collars like that and he pushed me on the street. I fell down on the road. He was so angry with me. I said, you took my son, you kept in Mumbai, and you come and stay here in your hometown. Like that. He was very angry. And I didn't say anything because he was like my uncle, was just my neighbor is like uncle. So I didn't say anything, I was quiet. And Maharaj came at that time. And his Govind Prabhu's mother, she was very kind, nice, pious lady. She was crying. And she said, can I talk to Maharaj? I said, you cannot understand your language. You speak Kannada and he don't understand Kannada. I said, no, you are there. You can translate. So I said, let me ask. So I asked Maharaj. So Maharaj, that time Govind Prabhu's name was Tattva Das. So I said, Tattva Prabhu's mother wants to meet you. And is it okay? Maharaj said, only on one condition. She should not cry in front of me. I said, how I am going to control that? But I didn't say anything to Maharaj, but I don't know. I told her, said, you can talk to Maharaj, but Maharaj said that don't cry in front of Maharaj. Then she said, okay. And then she came and I was translating. So she was saying that, my son, his father got him new shop, took a 30,000 rupees loan, and he wanted him to run the shop. Whatever bhakti he has to do, let him do here, But he had just left everything and gone. And he had, his father is, he has a heart problem, and we are worried, sometimes in this anger, he will not have a heart attack and everything. So, Maharaj was just listening, and he was saying, and Maharaj simply said in the last, he said, we don't force anybody to become brahmachari. But if someone wants to become, this is our moment, we have to facilitate him, to become brahmachari. And then he was talking, and Maharaj said, if Govind Prabhu, Maharaj asked her, how many sons you have? She said, I have 4. He said, you will be proud of this son later. Now you are crying. He said, because you don't know where is your son gone. It is natural for mother, to have that feeling that my son is gone somewhere to be taken sannyas and everything. So it happened with Shankaracharya also. He gave 2-3 examples. So you are not an exception. Everybody's father, parents, they were upset. So she was okay. And Maharaj, Sister told Maharaj, please send him back. Do anything, send him back. Maharaj said, I am your servant. I'll try. I'll tell him if he wants to come, we will allow him to go. But if you want to stay, this is a movement meant for preaching Krishna consciousness and practicing Krishna consciousness. So, but he said, I tell you, if he stays there, he will become a big acharya like Madhvacharya. If he stays there. So that time, you see, later on, Govind Prabhu became one of the pillars of Radha Gopinath temple. And many devotees, and it was inspiring. So Maharaj could see what Govind Prabhu will be if he stays. That time he was very new. He was very new. So that is how much Maharaj sees brahmacharis. If they stay, how they can grow up to. Practically, I have seen each and every brahmachari in Gopinath temple, how they were when they came for the first time, and now what they are. So many of them, hundreds of them, all the brahmacharis practically. Because when we came from Juhu, we were 10 brahmacharis, and except for me and one more, their devotee called Bhagavan Prabhu, who is also Maharashtrian. Nobody is there old. So Govind Prabhu was the first brahmachari in Chopadi temple. Later on, all brahmacharis came. So practically everybody I have seen how they came. So this is how Maharaj sees the potential in everybody and encourages them and deals with them, and he helps them to mature. So as I was talking about Maharaj can't see crying, I was remembering one thing. One time we were in Bangalore. Maharaj came with another 2 sannyasis. So they wanted to go to Bangalore because they wanted to, Bangalore is very famous for sandalwood. So they wanted to buy some sandalwood incense and things about sandalwood. So I knew Kannada, so they wanted to take me. So we went to Bangalore and we stayed. There was one devotee preaching in Bangalore. His name was Anantadev. So he was preaching and staying in one bungalow kind of a thing. So we stayed there. It was somebody's house. They gave him the ground floor and they were staying on the second floor. So we were doing program there and we did Maharaj Bangalarti and we chanted together. Maharaj gave a class. And as we were sitting, and he came to invite us for breakfast. So we went there for breakfast. And the host comes to me and he asks, now the Ramayana serial is going on. Do you want to watch Ramayana? And I said, no, we don't watch TVs, Then Maharaj heard the word Ramayana. And he said, what are you talking? He said, Maharaj, there is a Ramayana serial going on. This is in 1988. So, there is a Ramayana serial going on and he is inviting us to, if you want to watch. And Maharaj asked me, what did you say? I said, we are brahmacharis, we don't see the TV. Maharaj said, I want to see. So, we went there. Now Maharaj is sitting, we are sitting in one sofa. Maharaj is sitting, I am sitting next to him. I am watching the TV and I am translating it to Maharaj in his ears so that it should not be disturbed. And other two sannyasis were sitting there. I don't know what they were doing, but I was translating to Maharaj. But I couldn't speak even louder so that three people can understand. So I was just translating in the Maharaj's ears. And the scene was that Ram is banished to the forest. And he has come to Sita's room in the palace. And he's trying to convince Sita that I'm going, now you cannot come. And Sita is crying. And really she was crying. And she was crying and explaining to Ram, how I'm your half, Ardhangini, I cannot stay without you. After marriage, wife is supposed to stay with her husband. So she was explaining, but at the time she was crying. And then I was explaining, my eyes were on the TV, but I could hear some throbbing like that. And I saw it, Maharaj, literally he had tears in his eyes. So just imagine, Sita is crying there and he's crying here. That's why I was trying to tell in the morning, he cannot see the tears in anybody's eyes. That was Sita on the TV. Now it happens to all of us also, sometimes probably when we used to watch TV and movie, sometimes you cry, sometimes you fight, whatever, you are so immersed with the scene going on on the screen. But Maharaj was not like that. He was literally, he was feeling the pain of Sita in his heart. He was crying. And all the time, all that 20-minute scene was like Sita crying. So Maharaj was crying all the time, 20 minutes. He was just crying. Again, he has his white hanky. And I don't know what to do. I was translating as it is. And the words were very harsh that Rama is using for Sita. So he was feeling the pain of Sita in his heart. So this is how Maharaj he cannot, even the scene on the TV, it makes him so sensitive. It makes him so kind of a feelings, it hurts if somebody is hurting. Paradukhe dukhi. The Sita on the screen, which is like a screen, it is not exactly really happening. But for him, it was a reality. He was not watching it as a TV. He was watching it literally. Sita, he was in the mood of Sita, how she was feeling when Ram is telling all these things. And he was crying all the 20 minutes. So this is how it's very, Maharaj is very sensitive. People, he don't like to see people crying in front of him. So previously we used to make sure that nobody goes and cries in front of Maharaj. Many parents of brahmacharis will come and they will shout and all these things. Sometimes they'll make a big show. But we protected Maharaj, So Maharaj said, if you want me to stay in India, please don't involve me all these things. If something happens, if somebody goes to police, and that report is gone, and he will be banned from coming to India. So myself or Radha Krishna Prabhu, Devamar Prabhu, Navbhakti Rasamrut Maharaj, we were like a protectors, whatever comes, we don't let it go to Maharaj, We will handle things, somebody is crying and all these things. No, we want to meet Maharaj, But still we will say, Maharaj, he don't understand your language. He will say something or, we'll just avoid. And Maharaj had told us actually, he said, if you want me to stay in India, you have to shield me. You have to protect me from all the Indians, all many devotees, the brahmacharis are coming. So one time the Sankirtan Prabhu, who is a reception in charge in Chowpatty, Maharaj personally trained him. At that time, people were coming and going and coming and going. Nobody was paying any attention to any guest or anything. So Maharaj decided we should have, so many people Krishna is bringing to see Radha Gopinath. And we are not even paying any attention to them. They are Krishna's guests. We are supposed to serve them. And then Maharaj said, anybody comes to the temple, he should get a respectable treatment. He is a guest of Krishna, and we have to receive him, we have to treat to him, we have to talk to him, and he should come back again and again. And that time Maharaj was telling how to take care of the guest. And Sankirtan Prabhu, who's very soft-spoken, he is an engineer. And that was the first kind of educated brahmachari joined in our temple. So his family was very upset. Actually, they wrote an article in Times of India that these ISKCON people are, they are all destroying all the youths of India. My son has studied, he is an engineer, and now he's gone and he joined as a brahmachari. And so this ISKCON is destroying all the young generation. These young engineers, they can do so much for the country like that. So there was a big article in Times of India. So police came to see, and so many newspaper press reporters coming to see and take his interview. They go to his house. You know how these press reporters, they like to put fire between two groups, So they are asking brahmachari, why did you join? They are asking mother, how do you feel when your son is out of it? All this going on, and this is all coming in Times of India. And the Chowpatty temple, it's a new temple. Nobody was used to this Chowpatty temple. Everybody was used to Jew temple. This temple is something new. So this became so famous. Many people started coming, because of that. So bad publicity is good publicity. So it was happening. Now this mother is coming, and she was coming, and he was very soft-spoken. You hardly can hear him when he talks, when he gives classes. The person who is arranging the mice, he has a difficulty how big it to keep, because he's so soft, he has to make a maximum sound. So it was like that. And his mother is more soft-spoken, So she used to come and meet. And one time she came to meet, and they were sitting in the corner. And Sankirtan used to tell Maharaj, and my mother is very angry. She wants me to come back. Every day she comes and she tortures me. She fights with me. And as Maharaj, we were going for some program. Me and Maharaj, we came out of his room and we were walking down. To go, that time we didn't have a car. We used to get a taxi and we go to the train and go for program. So I was coming down, and in that corner, this Sankirtan Prabhu, that time he was not initiated, Sanjay, and he was sitting with his mother there in the corner, and they were talking something. So we just passed by. Maharaj just did Haribol. He smiled with his mother and Sankirtan, and we passed. So next day, Maharaj calls Sankirtan Prabhu. So I saw your mother happy yesterday. Then Sankirtan Prabhu said, then Maharaj said, yes, you are so quietly speaking. Everything is becoming good now. And Sankirtan said, no, Maharaj, we were fighting. They said, you're fighting is so, there is no, it doesn't look like fighting. It was like you are peacefully talking. He said, no, Maharaj, our whole family is like that. We are peaceful, but we fight. And Maharaj started, it's not that fight means he has to be really aggressive. So that was Sankirtan Prabhu. So then Maharaj trained him. Now he guides all the temples how to receive the guest. Maharaj gave him personal instruction, maybe Kolkata also, if you don't know. Sankirtan Prabhu is very expert. Maharaj has personally given him, he trained him. So many, like all our satellite centers in that area in Maharashtra or South India, they all take guidance from us. Then Maharaj told him, everybody, whoever comes, they should get some prasadam. Maharaj told that you can make this besan laddus, the small one, and that we used to give. We used to take their address, we used to give them some gift. Just said, Maharaj, somebody asked Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, how to make devotees, how to preach? Maharaj said, preaching begins with making friends. Whoever comes to the temple, that should not be his last visit. That should be the memorable moment in his life. Then he should come to the temple. He should find that he got a friend who is very trustworthy. And they said that is the beginning of preaching. So this way we have to make sure whoever comes to our temple, he develops that trust in us. That Maharaj said the whole world is a mess. There is no trust, there is no love. everybody is looking for trust and love. So when they come to the temple, Krishna is the source of all the love, and Krishna is the most trustworthy. We have to develop that faith, whoever comes to the temple. And in this way, Maharaj was training all of us also. But these instructions were given to Sankirtan Prabhu, because brahmachari class Maharaj will give, everybody has question. Then some Sankirtan Prabhu asked this question, so Maharaj told all these things at that time. So in this way, Maharaj was training the beginning of Radha Gopinath temple. So again, coming back to Belgaum. So next time Maharaj came, and he just had to go one day early. It was in the month of May. Maharaj came, and he came for like 5 days, but he has to go after 3 days. And that time the reservation was so difficult to get. In the month of May, it's a kind of a holiday. All the schools and colleges and all closed, so there are many people travel here there. So that time it was all full. The train is full, the buses are full, and that time there were no luxuries. So that time it happened that Maharaj got a call from Krishna Chandra Prabhu, again to one of his Mafatlal company, and through that he talked to Maharaj, and there was some emergency in the Chowpatty temple, and Maharaj had to leave immediately that day. And we didn't have money even to buy a ticket for Maharaj, or a train ticket or bus ticket, what to speak of arranging a car. Nowadays, you can arrange a car per person, travel from one place to another. It's not a difficult thing. So we didn't have any money. So only thing is that we have to make an arrangement in bus, because the trains were full and it was not possible. So when we came to the bus stand, we finished the program early, and around 9:30, everybody is taking prasadam. So me, another 2 or 3 devotees, we took Maharaj in a rickshaw, and 2 people came by bike. Me and Maharaj went by rickshaw. We came to the bus stand. And that time, the bus stand in India, especially Karnataka and Maharashtra, and everybody was smoking bidis and, spitting on the walls. And it was not a good atmosphere, even at the bus stops, all smoke everywhere and dirty. Everybody will throw everything everywhere. So Maharaj is coming, and, it was so packed, there was no place to sit. So we requested, one family was sitting there, so Maharaj sat there. Now we were hunting for the bus, because all the buses, they were coming and going from Belgaum, they're all full. So we didn't get any, we were there for half an hour, 45 minutes. All the buses were coming full. I said, there is no way that we are going to get bus this way. So one of our devotee from Belgaum, he said that, I'll go to the gate and I will just get into any bus there, open the door and go inside. And if somebody gets down, I will sit there, and that Maharaj can sit. So he went to the gate, and he opened like 3-4 buses, doors right there, running buses, because it was just slow. On a turn, the buses get slow. So he opened the door, entered inside, and he tried like 2-3 buses like that. Nobody was getting down, or hardly anybody, So and finally, we after 4 or 5 try, we got one red bus, and old junk bus was there, and somehow they got 2 places. So Govind Prabhu was there with him at that time. So we got a place, and that was behind. And what kind of place was there? Seat was that? Previously you see the red buses, you that half tire coming on the seat. You cannot even keep your foot down there, and you cannot even sit properly. That is the seat we got for Maharaj. He cannot even put his properly, and everybody takes his mouth, he goes spit outside, like that, smoke cigarette. So Maharaj sat, and it was so crowded, probably the bus is meant for like 50, but there are probably more than 100 people in that bus. And previously the people used to stand not only in the middle, they will be standing in front of the sitting people also, like that. It was so crowded. So there are people, first thing is Maharaj couldn't even put his feet properly. He was sitting right on a tire, which is very troublesome. He has to travel. That time it used to take 14 to 18 hours to reach Mumbai from Belgaum. So he was sitting on that. Of course, Govind Prabhu also was sitting like that. And all these people, they're smoking and spitting all around. So Maharaj went like this. I'm just telling you to show how austere it is and how were the beginning days we didn't have any money. So Maharaj didn't complain at all. He didn't say anything. So he went to Mumbai and he didn't say anything about it. And we felt bad, but I didn't feel that bad because we were used to that kind of situation. But when I went to America for the first time, I literally cried by seeing the buses of America. So this person, he comes, leaves all these things, and he is coming to Belgaum. And just imagine how much life he is sacrificing, how much richness, how many things American lifestyle he is sacrificing. And he's not even complaining that please do something, the way he went to the toilet, the way he stayed in the room, the way he traveled by bus. And these are all we knew that it is difficult, but we didn't say anything because everybody was doing that in India at that time. But by seeing, when I, first time I sat in America, in those buses, I was feeling, my God, I literally cried by remembering all the things we did for Maharaj for so many years. He never complained and he just accepted no facilities at all. So this way Maharaj, he went by bus. The third time he came to Belgaum. Now we had one devotee who bought a second-hand car. He changed it from petrol to diesel. Second-hand car, petrol to diesel. And now we were so happy that we have some car now. And just before that, I had started preaching in Kolhapur, which is like 2.5 hours by bus. So Maharaj was coming, so we changed the ticket from Belgaum. We planned Maharaj's ticket that he can go from Kolhapur to Mumbai. So we arranged that Maharaj gave a afternoon lunch. We took in Belgaum. And it takes about 2.5-3 hours, so that he can reach by 6:30. And Maharaj had not seen that time the Mahalakshmi temple where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited. So I told Maharaj previously that Maharaj, next time you come, we have just started preaching in Kolhapur. Next time we will go to Kolhapur. And then Maharaj said, Kolhapur, I told Maharaj, Kolhapur where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and he took darshan of Mahalakshmi. So when he went there, he was very excited to go to the temple of Mahalakshmi. So that was the plan. We will go to Mahalakshmi temple first and then we will go to the program. So we started around, after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock like that, so that we can reach by 5:30, go to temple, take darshan and go to program by 7. So we started and there was a nice prasadam made in one devotee's house. And Maharaj had prasadam and he was sitting in front. Normally we make him sit behind, but sitting behind those days were not good to ask person to sit behind, all stones and small roads and very difficult. So we made him to sit and even the driver was very happy, the devotee. So Maharaj sat and behind with 3 devotees we were sitting. So I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita in that bumpy road also. So Maharaj was dozing like this. So we took one newspaper and we put it on the window so that he don't get that sun. So he was sleeping and we were reading. And suddenly Maharaj woke up and I said, he asked, how far are we still? And we didn't know how far because we were absorbed in reading and Maharaj was taking rest and he was just driving. We don't know what is happening all around. And previously, when you leave Belgaum, outskirts of Belgaum, you'd come to Kolhapur, all sugarcane and all kind of agriculture was there. So it was very difficult to ascertain where we are. So we don't know exactly where we are. So then the driver was driving his car, and we saw a milestone, Kolhapur, 60 kilometers. Then, oh God, we have just come like 15-20 kilometers and we are thrown for like about 1.5-2 hours, And then I asked the driver, then he said, I'm trying best, but I don't know why it is not going fast. So Maharaj asked me, what happened? Why? What is he saying? He said he's trying to pull the accelerator and everything, but the car is not going fast. Then Maharaj, he just did like this and he opened the door and he got down and the newspaper was there. He put it on the ground, went under the ground and he just pushed back. He said, your engine is leaking. All the oil is leaking. And all the gas, diesel is leaking. And this car, he said, is not going to make to Kolhapur. Make some other arrangement. Now we are in the middle of the road. That time there were no many cars and not many buses. And we are middle on the road. I'm stopping somebody, please, please let us go. So finally, when we were there, that is the year Gauranga Prabhu had come to Belgaum. He was working in Nasik at that time. So he was inspired to see the Belgaum congregation. So he came to Belgaum and Maharaj was there. So I went and we didn't know. Some devotee from Belgaum, there are 3 devotees, they suddenly decided we also will go to Kolhapur. And they were coming on bike. And 3 bikes were there and 1 person was sitting behind. So 6 devotees, 3 bikes were coming. So when they came and they saw, true, I was also in Brahmachari dressed at that time, Maharaj also was Brahmachari. They saw from a distance, they say, why, what happened, why you are standing here? Then Maharaj, he told one devotee, and get down, Maharaj pulled his lungi up like folding. He did it uttari and put it on his face like this. And he just sat on the bike. He said, let's go. This car is not going to go. So he sat on a Royal Enfield kind of a bike. He sat on a bike, half dhoti up and like a, Madrasi kind of a thing. he sat. Now he didn't even tell me that, you come or something. And I was the one who was arranging. That's the first program. They don't know any English there. The Maharaj don't know any Marathi. I supposed to go to Mahalakshmi. And I was, kind of. So then the second man came, I said, you get down. I have to catch Maharaj, don't ask me, just get down. Maharaj is gone. So then I went and we were just with Maharaj and we came to Mahalakshmi temple. We come to Mahalakshmi there and Maharaj has come for the first time. Now he asked me, is there any way I can take a bath here? And I said, this is a temple and I don't think there is a facility you can take a bath here. Then he saw one tap, it's just running water. Some people were drinking there. So he just went there, washed his face because the face has become so black with mud and everything, like all the fumes of the trucks and everything. So his face was very dirty kind of a thing. So he washed his face and then he said, can you get me a tilak? Now, where I'm going to get the tilak? But fortunately, there were shops, So I went to one shop and I just picked up one tilak and I said, Maharaj wants tilak, I'll be back. Now he said, Maharaj, paisa kidhar hai, paisa kidhar hai? I said, wait, I don't have any money, but I didn't tell him. So I get this tilak. And I gave it to Maharaj. He didn't use the mirror, he just takes and puts the tilak like this and take this as a prasadam, I gave it to shopkeeper. This is a prasadam, Maharaj used this. So Maharaj, then we went to take darshan of Mahalakshmi. And then we came out, then we had a problem. How are we going to go from there to the program? So there was one devotee who came to receive us on his bike. And I told him, this is a problem, our car is not here. And you have only 10 minutes till Maharaj take darshan. You have to arrange something. So somehow he went, he was looking, very disturbed and what to do. And he found one person who was a life member of ISKCON, who was in Africa. And he just bought Fiat car, new. The plastic is also not removed yet. And he just found him, he was standing on the road. He found him. He said, he was like a doctor or something. So he said, sir, please, doctor, Maharaj ko leke jana hai program, leke jaoge kya? So he was very happy, some saintly person is sitting in my new car. So he was very happy. He didn't mind going to this clinic little late. So Maharaj came. I said, so how we are going? I said, Maharaj, this car is going to take us. And Maharaj asked me, are you sure this car will take us? Are you sure this car will take me to the program? I said, yes, Maharaj, this is a very new car. He said, he has not removed the plastic. So Maharaj looks inside and he sits in the car and then we come to the program. Now that is the first program of Kolhapur on the terrace of one bungalow of one devotee who was preaching there. Vrindavan Anand. He became a devotee afterwards. So first program happening, there are about 50, 60 people were sitting. When Mataji was singing Hare Krishna. And Maharaj came and he just started singing Jai Radha Madhav. And after that, he chose a verse, Dehino asmin yatha dehe. As the body changes from boyhood to all these things are there. So he was explaining that verse, how the body is changing. Now, he used this travel as an example. He said, I sat in a car, then I sat on a bike, then I sat in a car, I came here. So, person is the same, only the vehicle is changed. So he used this, he never complained about it, but he used this as an example, how the body is changing. And also it is said that how the car, a driver is like a soul and the car is like a body. So he used that example, giving his personal, and he narrated this for half an hour. Just imagine, I am telling you in 10 minutes, but Maharaj told us how these things happen. He took it half an hour to explain all these things, so everyone was enjoying. So this is the way Maharaj came to Kolhapur, and from there he went to Mumbai. Now, next year Maharaj came again. That time this devotee was behind me. I said, no, Maharaj is not going to trust you and I also don't trust you. But another devotee had bought another second-hand car. And he learned driving just to take Maharaj to that first time Maharaj came by flight at that time. And first time we were taking Maharaj to the airport, Belgaum airport. And that time the security was not that much. Just going to a bus stand, and wait for the flight and goes. And there is no checking and all these things. They'll just check your ticket. Simple. So that flight was again around 3 o'clock or something. So we had prasadam, and around 1:30, I told Maharaj we should leave now. So Maharaj asked me how much time it takes. It takes about 1 hour to go to the airport. So and then everybody, all send off. Then Maharaj comes and sits in the car. And the car is still in the city and stops right there. And Maharaj is sitting in front. And the driver don't know what happened. And we were like, boom, it was like our head hit the seat in front, and Maharaj also went like this. No seat belts at that time. Then he's trying to do and car is pushing his accelerator forcefully, not going, doing and Maharaj is looking at him, all these things. Again, Maharaj rose down the window and he looks down. He said, your wheel is out. Well, the wheel has come out where the Maharaj was sitting. We were still in the city. And the Maharaj said, this is not going to make it. So just because Maharaj was sitting, probably the wheel was standing there. The wheel would have gone. It was a big accident because in the main road, in the main traffic. So just because Maharaj was sitting, probably Krishna saved. So the wheel came out of the, and it was just stuck, and car was right on the, like that. So then again we were on the road, but at least we were in the city. So at that time there is one devotee, his name is Dashrath Prabhu. So he used to have a big, jeep, and all the devotees, jeep, probably you can have 6 or 8 people, but there are about 20 people in that jeep, hanging around, how Indians are. So they are sitting, hanging around and everything, just to see Maharaj going by flight, they also get to see the airport also. So they were all coming. And they saw it, Maharaj and myself were standing on the road. And then I told, the car is not going to go, the wheel has come out. So let Maharaj go in this car. So there are about 5-6 people sitting on two seats in front, So me and Maharaj, we sat, and all other people were hanging behind, and we went to the airport. So this is the second time happened like this. Now third time, Maharaj, asked him, and this time we had a new car for Maharaj. So Maharaj, I said, Maharaj, again at the same time, Maharaj was going by flight. And he asked, I told Maharaj it takes 1 hour. And Maharaj looks at me. I said, where is the car? And the car is standing outside. So he sees the car. And Maharaj knows how to make everybody humble. So he comes inside, and about all the congregation practically at that time coming to give send off to Maharaj. About 150 devotees were there. And Maharaj looks at me, he said, Vrindavan Prabhu, no, that time Varnashram, said, Varnashram Prabhu is an expert manager, but he don't know how to arrange the car. He just, humiliative in front of everybody, which is a fact actually. So this is the Maharaj different times, but he never complained, he will get, he was not disturbed. He didn't say. And that time he said, if something happens to this car, I will never come back to Belgaum. Well, that's just to make it is not that. He came afterwards also, and all cars were good. So, but this is the way to show that how, he handled the situation. So, when Maharaj used to come, now I'll tell some of his tolerance, how tolerant Maharaj is. So one time there was a program on 15th of August in Andheri. You might have seen there is a beautiful picture of Maharaj with tricolor garland, like India's flag. One is marigold, and then there is a white tuberose, and then there is a green leaves. A very famous picture at one time. So that garland is on that day. So one rich person, he had a program in Andheri. So he was a host, and Maharaj came, we all came. There were about 200 people, his friends, some devotees were there. And Maharaj started singing Jai Radha Madhav. And the host remembered, there is no garland. Then he calls his servant, he said, go and get garland. So then he went to the clothes shop, and this big garland was there, He made probably for some minister in the morning, because it was big garland. And he got it. And that time they used to just wrap it in newspaper, put some, and tie it, and bring it. So he brought it, and he's right on the behind, he just removed the paper, and he offered it to Maharaj, And it went on Maharaj, went on the harmonium and came down. It was such a big garland for there, And Maharaj is singing Jai Radha Madhav. So he had to sing Jai Radha Madhav with taking care of the garland also, So I was sitting just next to Maharaj, about 1.5 feet, and I was playing Mridanga for Maharaj, and he was doing Kirtan. And Maharaj, in India, normally he wears just dhoti, lungi kind of a thing. He has a uttari and chadar, And if it is too cold, he wears one t-shirt. If it's more cold, in America kind of a thing, he has a turtleneck kind of a shirt. And if it's too cold, when traveling only, then he wears some kind of a jacket. In Vrindavan or in India, he wears thick kind of a chadar. India, you will see. Just recently, about 2 years ago, I saw Maharaj in some other country. He was wearing a black coat with a black cap, with a black scarf. First time Maharaj has wear anything other than saffron. So that must be some devotee just to please him. That's the only one time I saw Maharaj wearing black coat and black cap, and black scarf. Otherwise, Maharaj never wear any other color than saffron. So, what I was telling? It was garland. So that time, if it is a heat, so Maharaj, what he does, he just pulls his chadar and puts on his shoulder. He puts it on his shoulder. There is a heat. So he was like that at that time, and I was sitting very close, so I could see his belly and half of his back kind of a thing, because the chadar was on. And through that garland, I saw small ants, they're all crawling on his body. Not only that, they're going near his ears, near his, their eyes, near his nose. Even if that one ant would have troubled us, disturb us. But there are about 20-25 ants all over Maharaj's body, And Maharaj was undisturbed, he was not at all. He didn't even know what is happening. And so he was chanting with such an attention and absorption. So these ants were growing all over his body, and he was not disturbed. Then Maharaj don't keep any garlands because he has allergy of flowers, except for one flower, that is Mogra. But he removes that also so that people should not think Maharaj likes mogra. So he removes mogra also. Maharaj don't fit, say you put him, he immediately removes in 2 minutes because he gets allergy. So he removes the garlands. So this garland he could not remove, and all these ants were coming because he was chanting Jai Radha Madhav. So after that, he removed that garland and he put it just between me and him. So I saw more ants coming. So I removed that garland and I put it behind. So Maharaj didn't say anything. And after the program, now Maharaj don't even know what is happening. So I saw there are red marks on Maharaj's face, on his ears and near eyes, in his belly, in his back. Said, Maharaj, you have so many ants were on you. And Maharaj said, he just like he didn't even notice it. That's his tolerance. Even one of that ant would have disturbed us. It is said that elephant, he's such a big animal, but one ant can kill elephant if it goes into his ears. So, and they are not like a normal ant, they are red ants. They are very dangerous, they bite you so much. So, but Maharaj didn't say anything. Second time, we had a program in Belgaum, and it was a month of May. And May is a month when you start getting mangoes, they are almost ready to ripe, big mangoes. They are like a stone, big mangoes are there. So his asan was arranged under the mango tree, and all the devotees, Mataji is sitting in front and the Prabhuji is sitting on this side like this. And Maharaj was singing Radha Madhav. So the big mango falls on Maharaj's head, and rolls down to Mataji's, like that. Now all the Matajis are like, prasadam, they are all taking all these things, and Maharaj is singing Jai Radha Madhav, he don't know what happened, Then that till Maharaj finished his lecture, that boil became like almost like an inch tall. Marathi me tengul. It's not exactly a boil. I don't know what is it called in English. It's Marathi. It's called tengul, but you can say it is a boil. It's just, and Maharaj didn't even know. So after the lecture, Maharaj he did like this, and he found something. There is some swelling. I said, Maharaj, and also Maharaj asked me, why the Matajis were so enthusiastic. He said, Maharaj, they wanted a mango which hit on your head. Then Maharaj looks at his head, he said, and then I said, Maharaj, I know I used to get this because I used to play cricket, that time there was no helmet. So we are used to get all these on our body everywhere, all these big things. So what we'll do, we'll press it and it will go, it will take 2-3 days like that. So Maharaj, I said, can I try this? And Maharaj said, okay, try. So I used to press that for the next 4 days, and it went down. But Maharaj didn't even know that that mango fell on him. Again, he was chanting Jai Radha Madhav. So that's his absorption at the same time. Tolerance. Even if some things happen, our attention goes here, there. But Maharaj was not fazed at all. He was so absorbed in chanting, and he was so absorbed, he didn't even know what was happening. He was just in Vrindavan. So another time, Maharaj was giving, he came to Belgaum, and we used to have a white asan. He was sitting on the floor. Maharaj gave Bhagavatam class, about 50-60 devotees were there in front. And as soon as he got up, I saw like about 6-inch parameter blood stain on the place where he was sitting. And then I looked at his dhoti from the backside, which had again 6-inch blood there. So I said, Maharaj, you are bleeding. And then we went to the room and Maharaj lifted his lungi back. So there was a boil which was burst, so there was a pus and blood coming from that. It's very painful. I used to get that as a child. Everybody knows what we call that in Marathi. Huh? Yeah, something like not in Karnataka we call something different. So anyway, the boil was so big and there was a pus and blood and coming. It's very painful. You cannot even sit. But Maharaj gave a whole lecture, and that day was Hanuman Jayanti. Maharaj gave 5 lectures on that day in that condition. So this was a morning time. He did a Bhagavatam, and then we went to a room to take a breakfast, and he just lifted his lungi, and I saw the big, and it was bleeding. And then we asked one of our devotees, is there any doctor close by? And then we went, and there was one homeopathic doctor. Anybody homeopathic doctor here? So they will understand what I'm telling. Nobody? Okay. So homeopathic doctor, he was new, and we called him, and we went to his hospital. This was next program was at 11 o'clock, and in between on our way in a city, Belgaum, he just has opened a new clinic, And when he saw, and I said, I got down from the car and I went. He said, our Maharaj, he has some boil. Would you like to treat it? So he said, yes, sadhu santeti gara. He said, sadhus are coming. It's like a festival for me. So he went, and he was sitting in the chair. And I told him, this is Natarajan, doctor. He was very new at that time. And, so he started, saying, today is a great day, Today is the birthday of Horniman. Horniman is the founder of homeopathic. Now that was the Hanuman Jayanti. So Maharaj heard it, Horniman, as Hanuman. And Maharaj, yes, today is birth of, today is also appearance of Hanuman. Then he started, no, I am talking about Horniman. He is the founder of homeopathy. Then Maharaj said, yes, I know. I am also talking about the founder of Ayurveda. That time he said, fire was Jadiputi. Actually he said herbs and roots. He said, Hanuman is the founder of herbs and roots. Then he told the story sitting there, how Lakshmana was, he forgot his pain, Now 15 minutes he's telling the story. Who was there? Only me and the doctor. So enthusiastic he was preaching, he forgot his pain, And then he told the story of how Hanuman got this, the hill, and how Lakshmana was treated and everything. And then he said, the doctor said, how I can serve you? Then I said, Maharaj is here because he has some kind of a boil, So then he made, and then he cut his wound and something, and did it bandage. And then all the blood was clean and everything. And then he said, you have to do this for 4 or 5 days, Then he gave me the material, so next 4 or 5 days I was doing, all the cleaning and putting the new bandage and everything. But with that pain, even whole day Maharaj was talking about Hanuman, so enthusiastically, as if there is nothing happened to him. For a common man, it is very difficult just to sit for 5 minutes. But he gave like total about 5-6 hours of lecture just on Hanuman that day. So that's his kind of absorption. At the same time, he's how tolerant he is when he's engaged in Krishna's service. So he's since we have seen Maharaj, all the time he is sick. There is not a single day that Maharaj is not sick. When we have seen, since he was very young, because of the austerities he did in Himalayas and everything. So one time Maharaj used to have so much an asthma, in the middle of the lecture he will go out of breath. And he used to have that pump, I don't know what is it called, medical language. And nowadays, I think some advanced technology has come. But he used to take that, he used to stop class, and he used to take those puffs right in the middle of the class, so that his breath can start. So, but still he was so enthusiastic. So many things were happening many times to him, So, one time Maharaj, every day, he comes for japa, every day. Somebody was telling in the morning in Mayapur, in Mayapur Yatra. But that's his schedule. He likes to chant with devotees. And every day he comes and chants all his 16 rounds with devotees. So, one time, all this morning program, he came for chanting. That day, it was kind of not that cold, but he was wearing that thick chadar around his face, and he was feeling a little cold. So it was in the summer. It was kind of in Mumbai. You don't even need full shirt at that time. It's just one chadar. But Maharaj has thick chadar and is covered like that, and he was chanting, fully absorbed in chanting. So after chanting, he used to go to his room and get fresh and come back. So that day he went and he never came back for darshan or Guru Puja, which is kind of very rare. So after the Guru Puja, somebody else was giving class. So I went to see in Maharaj's room. So he was lying on the bed and he was shivering like anything. He said, Vrindavan, please get me some blanket. And that time we had 10, probably maximum 10 brahmacharis at that time. So I thought Maharaj is feeling cold, he used to use just one blanket with Solapuri chadar. So he had that and he had one extra blanket in case if he requires. We kept it. So he had this both, Solapuri chadar was there and the blanket was also there. Still he was shivering. He said, get me more blanket. So I went down and I got a couple more blankets and all these things. I said, I don't know, I'm feeling cold. Get me more blanket. So I went 2-3 times and practically I got all the chadars we had, all the 10 blankets on him. It's not like looking thick like this. And still he was shivering. So I don't know what to do. So there was one brahmachari named Pradyumna and he was from Himalaya. So he had one rajai, rajai kind of a thing. Rajasthani, cold places they have this kind of a rajai. So he used to use that to sleep like a bed, I thought that is the thickest thing I have in the ashram. So I went and I got that and I put it on Maharaj. So only thing was left was like his little nose and like that everything was covered. And finally Maharaj was little warm and I sat there for like 5 minutes to see if anything he wants and he's sleeping. So I closed the door and I came out. Now I knew Maharaj is sick and whenever Maharaj is sick he don't eat any prasadam, he just fasts. So just before he was sleeping, I said, Maharaj, you want me to save your prasadam? Maharaj said, no, I don't want to take prasadam. So I late and everybody, as around 10 o'clock, people used to come to see Maharaj. So I just opened the door and Maharaj was still sleeping. So I said, Maharaj is very, he's very sick. I given him almost a dozen blankets. Still he is very cold. I don't think, we should not disturb him. So people were waiting in line to meet him. But I told them. So again around 1 o'clock, I went to Maharaj's room for asking for coming for prasadam. And as I went there inside, he was sitting just on gamcha and I was sweating profusely. All the blankets were, we had just put it on the side. Full sweating was there. So I could understand what is happening because it used to happen to all of us in Brahmacharya ashram. That is the sign of malaria, So we get cold and then high cold and high fever both simultaneously comes in alternatively. So then we called, that time we didn't have Bhaktivedanta hospitals. All our doctors were very new. So we called Dr. Alwa, very Maharaj's good friend. So Dr. Alwa came around around 4 o'clock or something. And Maharaj has not eaten breakfast, he has not eaten anything. And then Dr. Alwa, he got some drink kind of a thing and Maharaj drank it. And he checked Maharaj's fever and everything. And he said, Maharaj, we need to go and get a blood test done. The symptoms don't seem to be good and very concerned. So we went, Dr. Alwa and Maharaj, they went and Maharaj was tested and he got malaria. So he was admitted in Bridge Candy Hospital. At that time, the situation in Radha Gopinath temple was not very good. Brahmacharis and Grostas, they were not together, they were criticizing each other. Congregation was not big, hardly 40-50 devotees will come for Sunday feast and ashram there will be like 10-12 devotees were there. And there was no cooperation, the fighting was there, and brahmacharis were criticizing grahasthas were criticizing brahmacharis. So overall the atmosphere in the temple was not good for a spiritual life, no Vaikuntha. It's like a fighting and all these things. So Maharaj was very disturbed because of that. And he just had come to India and this happened to him in just first 3 months. So he just stayed there, tolerated everything. He will see, try to help as much as he can. But he was, in his heart, he was feeling bad, how I can help the situation here. So he was admitted, and Dr. Alva, he told us that Maharaj is admitted and he will be there for 3-4 days. So we went to see him in the evening. And Maharaj, normally he speaks soft. And that time he was so soft, he could not even understand what he was speaking. Only thing we have to make it out from his lip movements. So we went there. I was standing next to Maharaj like this, and devotees were there. And I was holding Maharaj's hand. It was like warm at that time. And one devotee asked Maharaj, what can we do for you this time when you are in this condition? So Maharaj slowly looked at all of us, all 5 devotees we went to see. And he just lifted his hand like this. Just do 2 things for me. Then he said, first thing, now I am telling in loud but Maharaj was so soft, he just had to make it from his lips, He said, first thing, don't tell my parents that I have malaria. I didn't understand why, till I went to America, why Maharaj told this. So Maharaj told that, don't tell my parents that I have malaria. And second thing, he said, most important, said, I am not suffering because of this disease. I am not disturbed at all because of this disease. But I am suffering and I am disturbed, When I see devotees are fighting amongst each other, that gives me more pain, that the bodily pain I am having. So this bodily pain I can tolerate, but I cannot tolerate devotees are fighting amongst each other for silly things, simple things. So if you stop fighting amongst each other, I will get soon better. I will get better soon. So that is, see, the person who is suffering in malaria, and his pain is relationship of Vaishnavas. He is not feeling the pain of his body. He is feeling the pain of devotees, Vaishnavas are fighting amongst each other. So that was painful for him than his bodily ailment. So we went and we just took an emergency meeting, and this is what Maharaj wants, Maharaj wants that we should not fight amongst each other. No, that was resolved because that is Maharaj wants. So Maharaj came after 8 days, all of us, the management, all the brahmacharis and some senior congregation, about 20 people were sitting in Maharaj's room. So the devotee asked this question again. He said, you said, Maharaj, we should not fight among each other, Then started telling about what does exactly Maharaj meant. So he went on explaining for half an hour, or what does mean that he should not fight. So the gist of it was, he said, everybody has an opinion to offer, but they should not be attached to their opinion, especially in the management, And therefore, if everybody is attached to their own opinion, then the fight starts. My opinion is better than your opinion. I am experienced, I am senior. These kind of things come. So everybody has an opinion, because even in spiritual world, Krishna Maharaj said that there is a difference of opinion between the gopis also. But that difference of opinions we have to solve, in a Vaishnava way, in a humble mood. So you give your opinion, but don't be attached to that opinion. And then that time decided to have like a president. Every 3 months used to change. So that's the time it started coming. So everybody, Maharaj gave chance to everybody. So that is how is that Maharaj changed the president, because everybody will criticize the president. So next time that person will become a president and he will understand how it is difficult. So this is how Maharaj, that time the senior 5 devotees, Maharaj made them president, rotating president. That the system started at that time. Because what happened, just before Maharaj got sick, we went to Udupi. And at Udupi Mat, Maharaj was talking to this Pejawar Mathadish at that time. Then he asked this question to Pejawar Mathadish at that time. He said, how do you manage, there are 14 mudds here, and how do you manage, so many devotees wants to serve the Lord, Lord, Udupi, Krishna. How do you manage this? Don't you have any arguments or fights or something like that? And that's where Pejawar Mathadish has told that we have a rotating system. Everyone gets chance after 14 years. So everybody is very serious for 2 years because they know that they are not going to get this chance. And in that 2 years, they have to do so much seva and that everybody is hankering to come, and they have to not only the keep standard, they have to raise the standard. So Maharaj got this system of rotating presidents from Madhva Sampradaya. And that's how he said that every 3 months we will change. And one was like a permanent, that was like a Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Maharaj was there. But he was like a assisting these 4 kind of things. So that is the system came there. But Maharaj wanted to see that there should not be fights. And that's when Maharaj started giving brahmachari class. Now we will have brahmachari class at 10:30 in the morning, which will go up to 12:30. So all brahmacharis will come, and Maharaj will first will recite Mangalacharan, then will recite Shad Goswami Ashtak, then Maharaj will tell some inspiring stories from the acharyas, and some question answer like that. So brahmacharis were trained in that way, and mostly he will tell how to practice brahmachari ashram and how to be respectful to the society and to the grahasthas and all the parts of the society. So brahmacharis are servants of the society. They should never think they have given up everything. Yes, he says there is a difference between a traditional brahmachari and brahmachari in ISKCON. ISKCON brahmacharis are missionary brahmacharis. They are not just celibate. Outside brahmacharis are just celibate. That's what they have to do. But in ISKCON, the brahmacharis are managers. They have missionaries. Because Prabhupada has given this missionary mood to all the brahmacharis and sannyasis. So he told the difference between traditional brahmacharis and brahmacharis training in the temple. So that's how he trained brahmacharis slowly. Then we started counselor system to train the grahasthas. So because grahasthas didn't have proper respect for brahmacharis, so he will tell, Maharaj will personally go to counselor meetings at that time because it was not much, about 5 counselors were there. So he will go to different counselor meeting and Maharaj will tell them about what is brahmachari and what is sannyasi, like that. So both the places he tried to make them friends. And one time Maharaj gave lecture about 12 Mahajans. And about 12 Mahajan, he said most of them are grahasthas, very few are brahmacharis and celibate. So in this way, Maharaj started bringing the congregation together. So one time, just before this was happening, because Maharaj was disturbed, so he calls me one day, and because I know part of Maharashtra, I had traveled before, I was a Sankirtan leader, so I had gone to each part of Maharashtra. So Maharaj calls me and he said, is there any place around Mumbai we can go and just do Kirtan Katha, and we'll go somewhere for weekend. Then I suggested Maharaj, yes Maharaj, there is a Lonavala, which is very close, about 2 hours from Mumbai. And there is a Khandala, Lonavala, and this place is there, and there are, said, is there a place that can accommodate about 100 people? And yes, there may be, if you do some research, we'll find it. So he said, we'll talk about it in the evening. So in the evening I came and we were talking about that. At that time Krishna Chandra Prabhu came. And Krishna Prabhu asked, so he was looking, me and Maharaj were talking and he was looking. And then I was suggesting there is something in Lonavala. Then Radhanath Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, he asked Krishna Chandra Prabhu, do you know any place? So we can, all the brahmacharis and all the grahasthas can go and just will do Harikatha and Harinam. Said, yes, I have a bungalow in Pune, which is like a guest house. And that can accommodate at least 200 people. And Maharaj was very happy. He said, yes, we will all go there. So it was like all counselors and counselees and brahmacharis. We were about 80 devotees at that time. So we all came to Pune for combined counselor meeting. And the main focus was just relationship. Maharaj was talking about relationship, and he gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example and how Prabhupada encouraged everybody. So this was the main theme, and lot of kirtan. There was so much kirtan and katha, 3 days, And Maharaj used to make dance everybody. And how he will make dance? The devotees, 2 devotees were fighting, Maharaj will bring them together and make them dance. In this way, he will make them dance, kind of a thing. And one time Maharaj said, just like, he said, you should glorify a person who you don't like at all. And he said, who is going to start, who is going to start like this, nobody wants to criticize in front. He said, see, how much, you don't want to criticize, but you end up criticizing, because even you don't like it. Otherwise, if some good thing is happening, somebody have raised, okay, I will talk about it, Now Maharaj said, whoever you like the least or you don't like, you start glorifying him. That means in our heart, we had somebody, Maharaj said, otherwise, you would have raised your first, you know that this is not good. Criticizing is not good. So Maharaj said, even you don't like it. Even you don't like it. You know it is wrong. So why we do it? So this was the main theme of that first, it was not Pune Yatra at that time. It was a counselor meeting. And at the end, Maharaj asked everybody, what is your experience? How you do this? How you felt like this? Then Krishna Chandra Prabhu suggested, he said, Maharaj, this place is getting purified. We should have this every year. So the next year it started as Pune Yatra. So that first we came just to bring all congregation together. So from next year, now 88, 88, 89, started Pune Yatra. So that's the beginning of Pune Yatra. The first to bring it together, all the devotees, and develop the relationship and develop the respect for each other's ashram, and come together in a Vaishnava way and do Harikatha and Kirtan. Nothing else. No, nothing else. Simply come, serve, listen Harikatha. So that is how Pune Yatra started. So Pune Yatra, and when Maharaj we used to all sleep in the same bungalow. On third floor, all the senior devotees were there. Myself, I used to sleep next to Maharaj and about 10 devotees like that. And the second floor was brahmacharis and congregation devotees. And the ground floor was meant for Matajis. It was a big 3-story bungalow. And we were all coming for program. So Maharaj, he will give very long lectures, 2, 3, 4 hours lecture he'll give. And so one time, in the night, we used to sleep little late. And we used to get up around 5:30, and we'll have Mangalarti and everything. So we will sleep late. And next day, because we were about 10 devotees staying in one room, and there were only 2 bathrooms. So same thing with the there are about 40-50 devotees, and they had only 2 bathrooms. And Mataji is also the same. There are about 50-60 Matajis and 2 bathrooms. So it will take time for devotees to finish their morning duties and come for program. So that was little late program. So one time we came after the kirtan, and Maharaj was sleeping just near the wall, and I was sleeping next, and everybody was sleeping. And I got in the night around 12 o'clock or something. So Maharaj was sitting in a corner, and he used to have like a black, like a small tube, like a torch. So I was sitting in the corner, and he was preparing for his lecture. And he was not disturbing anybody else. So he was taking the light, and he was reading the book. And probably he was reading that for whole night. I don't know exactly, because in the morning also when we started waking up, he was still reading something. So Maharaj is a Gudakesh. Many times I have seen Maharaj not sleeping all night, and next day he is as enthusiastic as ever. So one time I was in New Vrindavan. This is the second incident I remember. So I was a temple president, but I was also a head pujari too. So one day Maharaj went for a program. I couldn't go. And because I was a pujari, so I had a seva of even putting deities to rest. So I did all that thing. So Maharaj finished his program. In America, in winter, program finishes very early because it gets dark at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So program ends by like 8 o'clock. So Maharaj came, and next was the day of Ekadashi. So I finished deity and everything. And it was my duty to turn off all the lights before I go and take a rest. So Maharaj was chanting in front of Srila Prabhupada in New Vrindavan. So I came and I turned off all the lights and I left the light in front of Prabhupada because Maharaj knows where the button is. I left the light and I just went. I thought whenever Maharaj is done, Maharaj, he don't keep his round in the evening, but whenever you see him chanting other than morning, that's his extra rounds he chants. He chants all the time. Even where there is a time he chants. So that was his probably, next day, Ekadashi was there, probably he was preparing for that from the day before. So he was chanting in the morning, that's around 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10, when I turned off all the lights and I went. I left that light. So when I went upstairs, so the brahmachari ashram was such that you cannot see anything from below up, but from up you can see everything what is going on in temple. So I got up around 12 in the middle of the night, between 12:30 and 1, and I just saw the light is still on. So I opened my eyes, because I thought I am still in sleep, I don't know. So light is still on, and Maharaj was still sitting and chanting there. And he was like, absorbed in chanting, like his normal chanting. And then I said, wow, it was like 12 o'clock and 12:30 in the night. So again in the morning I went to wake up the deities. Till then Maharaj was still sitting and chanting. And I offered my obeisances and I turned on all the lights in the temple. And then I went to I was about to go to deity room. So Maharaj looks at me and he said, what time is it? I said, Maharaj, it is almost 4 o'clock. And, oh, it is 4 o'clock? So he didn't even realize. Next to Prabhupada there is a watch. And we can see what time it is. How many times we look at watch when we chant 16 rounds? Maharaj is asking me in the morning what time it is. And it is whole night he stayed awake. And there is a watch right next to Prabhupada. He would have seen any time what time it is. So that's the attentive, absorbed chanting. Whole night he chanted. Whole night. Then I said, oh Maharaj, it's 4 o'clock. Then he went, took a bath, came for Mangalarti at around 4:30 kind of a thing. Again chanted 16 rounds with all the devotees. Sitting same. He's shown any sign of tiredness of whole night. He's as enthusiastic as ever. He was sitting and he was just absorbed in chanting. And whole day, no rest. And he didn't show any sign of tiredness. He gave Bhagavatam class in the morning, kept on meeting all the devotees. Then we used to have a 4-day darshan, and 6 o'clock we went for program. He did for 8 o'clock, and then that day night he slept around 10:30 or something like that. So no sign of any tiredness, and no sign of any sleep when he is chanting in the night. And he didn't even look at the watch. That is how so much absorption in chanting. Now I will come to Maharaj's standard of chanting. I will tell one more story about, I'll tell it right away because otherwise you'll forget. This is very important. We were in Jagannath Puri one time. Maharaj can't go in the temple. So we were about 150 devotees, we were about 30 brahmacharis at that time. So that was the day of Nirjala Ekadashi. So Maharaj, we were waking up and we were going to take darshan. So Maharaj came with us and he said, you go and take a darshan. I will go to Siddhabakul and start. I will sit there and chant. And that time Siddhabakul and all surrounding area was very open. Nothing was there except for the temple on the other side. Siddhabakul tree which was open. We used to sit just touching the tree. And a little bit of hut was there in the next. There was nothing else. Whole ground was open. No boundaries, nothing. So Maharaj said, I will go and sit near Siddhabakul and you go and darshan and come. So everybody, as they were doing, we were taking darshan and coming, and Maharaj was sitting there and he was absorbed in chanting. He was just sitting. The tree was like this. He was just sitting there between the two branches. Maharaj was sitting and chanting. So we, devotees came and everybody was chanting. And Nirjala Ekadashi is, that time we were all young and everything. We could do all these austerities, no food, no water. So we were chanting all day. We were sitting and chanting. And in the evening, around 7 o'clock, we stopped our chanting because we need to go and have some katha. So Maharaj stopped and we all stopped. Then Maharaj asked everybody, and how many rounds you chanted? So everybody was, proudly telling 64 rounds, 108 rounds, 50 rounds, 32 rounds. Everybody who were present there, about 40, 50 devotees, everybody was telling rounds. Maharaj asked everybody. And then Maharaj kept quiet. So some devotee asked Maharaj, Maharaj, how many rounds you chanted? Then Maharaj says, I was trying to chant 16 rounds. And everybody was shocked. Because he is the first one to come. No, he didn't even come for darshan. Everybody after him chanted 64 rounds or 100 rounds or 98 rounds or 50 rounds. And Maharaj is telling that I was trying to chant 16 rounds. So we couldn't understand why Maharaj is saying that. And some devotee said, Maharaj, but you have come much before anybody else. Then Maharaj said, do you want to know the secret of chanting? Do you want to know? Secret of chanting? Very well. This is the standard of Maharaj's chanting. So Maharaj said, you count bead when you speak and when you hear. That is the complete circle of chanting. And then you can go to the next bead. And that way I was trying to chant 16 rounds. So that is the standard of how Maharaj chants. So we count whether we hear it or not, we just go on counting. So our chanting finishes in 2.5 hours, right? But how many mantras we finished the circle? How many mantras we spoke and we heard? And our mind was absorbed in it. And that is the way Maharaj chants his rounds, even today. And that is the standard of Maharaj. So it's very inspiring to learn what is chanting. So this is the secret of chanting, is not to just speak with your mouth. Chanting finishes when you hear it. Now that is the complete circle of chanting mantra. And in between the mind has to be absorbed. So this is mantra. Otherwise we are just counting, we are just finishing 16 rounds. One time Maharaj asked, do you want to finish your rounds or you want to chant? There is a difference between finishing rounds and chanting. Right? So this is how we learn to chant. And this is how Maharaj is chanting for all of his life. That is his standard. You speak and you hear. Now coming back to again Gudakesh. So another time I was with Maharaj in Vrindavan. Just me and Maharaj, for 8 days we went to Vrindavan. And we were staying in Man Mandir on the hill where there is a Ladli Lal and there Chiksoli and Barsana area. So Ramesh Baba ji is a friend of Maharaj, even he joined ISKCON. So he knows him. So we staying with him. So Ramesh Baba ji had one room, and next room he gave it to, he and his servant will stay. That time there were only 3 rooms. And the second room he gave it to Maharaj, and third room I was staying. So one night Mahanidhi Maharaj came. And it is beautiful, nice atmosphere all around. In a distance you can see Ladli Lalji Mandir and all the Gaivar one of Vrindavan. Long, there is nothing. It's beautiful moonlight. And there was one small light was there outside in a veranda. So I was sitting and there was one window. Because the light was coming, so I closed the window. And Mahadini Maharaj and Guru Maharaj was sitting outside and they were talking. So I thought, when two senior Maharaj talks with any Prabhupada disciple, I just back off myself because they have to talk something personally. So I said, Maharaj, I'll go and sleep. So Maharaj said, okay, you go. So I came and I closed the window so that the light will not come on my eyes, and I slept. So I got up in the morning, 3:30, to go for Mangalarti. Every day we used to go to Sriji for Mangalarti. And Maharaj was still sitting there with Mahanidhi Maharaj chanting. Talking about Krishna. Whole night they were talking Krishna Katha in that beautiful Gaivar one under the moonlight. So this is how another time I saw Maharaj. Whole night he is talking Krishna Katha. Both of them were talking. Both of them they didn't sleep. So both of them they were talking, and next day again he was fresh like ever. He didn't sleep in the whole day. So when we were there, I just remember one more thing. We used to go to Ladli Lal's Mangal Aarti every day in the morning. And that time there was no path. Now there is a, they have made a stone path to go to everywhere in that Gaivarvan, Bairsana, Man Mandir, and that Morkutir. All these things are now paved, they are nice stones and everything. Previously it was not like that. And there was no steps also to go to even Man Mandir. We used to walk the hill like that. So, and the walking hill was not so easy, so many thorns were there, many side thorns are there like a round one. So we used to walk in the morning around 3:30, 4. It's about 2 kilometers from Man Mandir to Sriji. Even though it looks like close, you have to go down one hill, get on the other hill, go down and then come up. So it's like that. So we used to walk that in the morning. So I could not walk even 10 steps without moving thorns in my feet, We used to walk without shoes to there. But Maharaj was so, there was only way we know that we are going to Sriji, because there was this one small light on Sriji temple, a small light on the dome, near the flag. And that is the direction we will go to. We will keep that light in our mind and we are going there. Pitch dark, nothing, you cannot see. So Maharaj, I was just following Maharaj. I was in that darkness. Only thing I could see the shininess of Maharaj's effulgence and his dress. That time I was thinking, he's the only one who can guide us in the darkness. Because he's so bright, it's like that. So I was following him. I said, I am in good hands. I just have to follow this shining personality. Behind him, I just have to go. He will take me Radharani. So I was following, and every 5-10 steps, I will bend down and I'll take the thorn, and I couldn't walk even one time direct. But Maharaj never, not even one time, he bent down and removed any thorns from his feet. So it's another example of so much tolerant and focus. He's going to take Radharani's darshan. So he was walking barefoot, and these thorns were there in the morning. So this was one of the experience. Every day we'll go for Radharani's darshan. We were there for like 6 days. So Maharaj used to do Hatha Yoga at that time. Afterwards he stopped it. So he used to do Hatha Yoga, he used to fold his legs and do chakra and all these things. That is around before he goes for a breakfast in the morning, he used to do that. So he asked me, now we are here for 6 days. Every day I want you to read one Goswami. So he gave me one book of 6 Goswamis. And he said, I will do my yoga and I will, as long as you read, So he was doing yoga as long as I was reading, different postures, we will do Shirshasana and all these sitting postures and kind of a thing. So Sanatan Goswami, Rup Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, they are big, correct? So it will take like 1.5 years to 2 hours sometimes. All the time Maharaj was doing, yoga. But Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, they are all very small. So it will take only 45 minutes kind of a thing. But as long as I was reading, Maharaj was doing his yoga exercise. So he used to do a lot. Nowadays he don't do that yoga as much. But he was very expert because he stayed in Himalayas. He used to do all postures and chakra and all these kind of things. And probably that helped him in sitting and absorbing and, in chanting or even in kathas, sitting straight and everything. So one of the advantage of sitting straight, you can focus better and you will not sleep. That's the experience, it's not related to Maharaj, but I have that experience. No matter how late you stay, in the morning if you just straight sit and chant, you'll never sleep. So because the chakras, that I saw Maharaj, all the chakras, he gets in one and he focuses. So that's helpful, it's not it is necessary, but Katha also you can focus, you can see Shukdev Goswami is giving Bhagavad Katha. His father is sitting there, all old people are sitting there, but they are not sitting like this, They're all like this, everybody, Old people are sitting like this. So we young people, we have to get that inspiration because that gives you focus. So, but that is what Maharaj Ji was doing this yoga there at that time. So, one time during that time in Vrindavan, the same thing happened. The same time, one day we went to Prem Sarovar. That thing happened at that time. Another time we were just going and going to all the temples in Vrindavan and everything. So we came to which is the one which is near Radharaman temple, Nidhuvan, Nidhivan, Nidhivan. Yeah. So we were just walking there. We came from Lohi Bazaar. We were going to Radharaman, and in middle there is one Gauranga temple. So Maharaj stood there, and he told me that this is where dog bit me, and that dog was a mercy of Krishna, because I could stay because of that bite in Vrindavan more, because he was admitted in Vivek. Then he told me we were doing parikrama of Vrindavan. There is a Vivekananda hospital. Maharaj said I was admitted here, there. And Maharaj told me at that time, he said, they gave me injections for 14 days. And he explained to me that it was so horrible. He said the syringe was like 6 inch and the glass one, he said they put it in my stomach and it couldn't go. He said they literally used to punch my stomach and they put forcefully all the medicine. Maharaj was, oh my God, it was horrible to listen even. So I could not explain that. So that is how it was so painful to take those 14 injections, and Maharaj stayed there. But he was happy, he tolerated all that pain because he got to stay in Vrindavan. Because he got more day to stay in Vrindavan. So he said that. So another time we were walking and we were visiting all the temple. It was in the evening, around 8 or around 9 o'clock. I don't know exactly. Beautiful moonlight, and Yamuna water was so blue, and the sand around that was so nice, white. It was such a, even when we remember, we still see that Vrindavan. Even with your material eyes, you used to see the beauty of Vrindavan in Vrindavan. Nowadays everything is covered so much. Yamuna has gone back so much. Otherwise it was on the right at the parikrama. It has gone back so much. So one time we went to take darshan in the evening of Radharamanji. He talked with his friend, Goswami there. And then we were walking down. We came to Gokulananda and we took darshan. And then we came to Kesi Ghat from there. And we were walking on the bank of Yamuna. And Maharaj became ecstatic. Nobody around, just me and Maharaj, and beautiful moonlight, Yamuna. And he started singing so loudly as if there are like thousands of devotees. And he was chanting this tune, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So he raised his hand. He's chanting like so much absorbed. He's not concerned about what is happening. Beautiful Yamuna, I don't know what he was. And I was chanting. I couldn't chant as loud as he was chanting. I was trying to repeat. And then he raised his chant like that and started running. And I couldn't keep up with him. On the bank of Yamuna, he's running all the way, raised hand and chanting loudly like a madman. I've never seen like that Maharaj afterwards. It's the only time I saw. Like a madman, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we hear about seeing Govardhan in Jagannath Puri. I was remembering all these things about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how spontaneously he will chant. So that whole, we were going on the bank of Yamuna all the way. And then we came all the way to Chatikara. And then Maharaj, somehow we came normal and then we walked back. And we came around 12:30 in the night. So all that path around Jamuna is like one of the best moments with Maharaj in my life. And of course the Yamuna and also the purity and attachment of Maharaj to the holy name. Nobody was there, he was just doing spontaneously, started chanting and he was so much absorbed. So that was his absorption in Vrindavan. So every day we used to go in the morning, we used to take bath in Yamuna every day. And because the water was so pure, blue, such a nice water. And since that, in that Kesi Ghat, they got that drainage there and everything is gone. Just recently, about 20 years ago or something. Otherwise, before that, Yamuna river was so beautiful, so beautiful. So that is the, how Maharaj is so much absorbed in the chanting in Vrindavan. So, I don't know, okay, it's 7:20. So I'll tell some stories about how Maharaj is so deeply sensitive and how he is a Uttamadhikari and comes down to our level and mixes with us, and what is his consciousness and how he looks at each devotee. So it is in New Vrindavan. It's in the different times it has happened, but it is it's a progressive consciousness of Maharaj. You can see in that and how sensitive it is. So these things have happened over the years, maybe 5-6 years, but I relate them together to show each time how I saw it is more and more. So in New Vrindavan, there is a one devotee, his name is Tejomay Prabhu, who joined with Maharaj in 1972 in New Vrindavan. So now he is a Grihastha. So New Vrindavan has its own sewage system and water system because it's the biggest community. One time it has 6,000 acre land, 600 devotees were staying, 600 cows, 300 gurukulis. So such a prosperous, around in till mid 85, 85 kind of a thing. So this was New Vrindavan community. So they have their own, that is the only temple which is in America's map. They show it as a New Vrindavan. It's a town. It is in the map. So this Tejomay Prabhu, he was the one who built all this sewage system and also water system, huge area. And even today, more than 50 years, he has the same seva. He does, goes and takes care of all the sewage. So in Bengal, even in Maharashtra, this is a seva of bhangi, one who cleans the stool and cleans the bathrooms and who removes the choke and whenever the bathrooms are choked and cleans the whole sewage system. So that is, he's doing whole day, years after years after years after years. So now, how many devotees think that is an important service? We don't even consider, is how much bhangi is important in our life. We don't even consider his service, correct? So he's so absorbed, he does his service, all these things. So, and in America, because it is a dirty work, you cannot wear a nice clothes. So in America, they have a khaki dress for that, it's a work dress they wear. And that dress we wear when you are working. And he has his own truck with all the instruments he take to clean the pipes and drainage and all these things, he has a truck. So one day me and Maharaj, we were going for a program in Wheeling. And Maharaj has beautiful dress, like effulgent as usual. And then another thing of Maharaj is now, Maharaj never wears new clothes. He always, at least a dozen times he washes it before he uses it. First time he is using. That's why all his clothes are very soft and everything. And he buys his dhotis only from one place, Ganga Prasad in Vrindavan, in Loi Bazaar. So unless someone gives him, he wears them for some time, but his liking is from there. Soft, all of them are so soft. Those who hug him, they know how his clothes are very soft. Right, Acharya Ratna Prabhu? His clothes are so soft like his heart, So the clothes are very soft. So, and fresh, and he never irons them. He taught me how to wash it and how to use it without ironing, So he had that nice fresh and nice tilak and clean. Maharaj had his van. So Maharaj was driving, I was sitting next to him, and we were going for program in Wheeling. And at that time, suddenly Maharaj saw this Tejomay Prabhu was coming with his van, and he couldn't recognize. So he just passed him. So Maharaj asked me, "Is that Tejomay Prabhu?" I said, "Yes, Maharaj." Then he goes to the next house, goes into the driveway, turns around and follows him. And we just catch him near the Palace of Gold. And Tejomay is just because he brings him car such a way that Tejomay cannot go. So he gets down from the car, Maharaj, and offers him obeisances. Now Tejomaya had no experience in his last 40 years. Nobody has offered him any obeisances because nobody thinks it's kind of a respectful job or something like that. If you see sannyasi or a big preacher, you offer obeisances. Who is going to offer obeisances to a Bangi, So, but Maharaj is moved. He got down from the car, from his van, offered obeisances. Now Tejomaya Prabhu, it was surprise from him because he had nobody experienced that somebody is offering. And here is a sannyasi. Yeah, and he has now disciples also. This is happened in 97, 98 kind of a thing. So Maharaj got down, offered obeisance. Now this Tejomaya is like embraced and he was shocked. So he also got down and Radhanath, you don't need to do that, So he said, you don't need to do that. But Maharaj was not getting up. He was offering him obeisances. So he also offered obeisances. Then Tejomaya was full, all those dress when, if you have seen any person working in sewage, all those black spots and all the wet black things, goo is there on his body. So he was full like that and hands were dirty and everything. And Maharaj was offered obeisances. I said, I am very happy to see you, Tejomaya Prabhu. Now his problem was Maharaj has such a nice and clean clothes and he is so dirty. So Maharaj is coming close to him and he is running, Maharaj, you don't need to do that. Maharaj still goes and embraced him, And Maharaj didn't care what will happen. And he embraced him. Tejomaya, I appreciate your seva so much. I am seeing you for many, many, many years. Consistently you are doing this seva for 40 years. And I was thinking Maharaj's clothes are going to be like dirty, And then Maharaj just come. They came out of each other's embrace. And Maharaj, I saw, now they are two god brothers, so I just moved back. And when Maharaj came back to the car, his clothes were spot clean. Not a single black dot was on his clothes. I was remembering Vasudeva and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting in South India. Remember all? Because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all things were gone. So, this is Maharaj, his dress was completely clean. And they were talking something like that. So next day, Maharaj gave Bhagavatam class. And Maharaj told, this is the first thing. Yesterday evening, I met Tejomaya Prabhu. Now everybody is thinking, what Tejomaya Prabhu, Nobody knows, half of the people don't even know when he comes and cleans their toilets and goes away. He's so humble without any prestige. So Maharaj said, I was so happy to see Tejomaya Prabhu. And then he asked everybody, can you imagine your life in New Vrindavan without Tejomaya Prabhu? That time everybody started thinking about Tejomaya Prabhu. Maharaj said, just imagine your toilet is choked. Just imagine. All the toilets in New Vrindavan choked. Dirt is coming out of your toilet. Nobody is there to clean. Then everybody realized the importance even of a Bangi. Of a person who cleans the bathroom. So this is the sensitivity of Maharaj. He glorifies all the preachers and everybody, but he also thinks about this is also an important service. Even the Shudra comes in the Vedic culture. But how many people appreciate? This is the Brahmana. Shunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. And this is the verse that brought Maharaj in Krishna consciousness. Pandita Samadarshana. He told me one time. So, how we can see, he sees big preacher, at the same time, he sees the person who is cleaning the toilets with the same as a devotee of Krishna. And can you imagine, now you can imagine also, can you imagine if your toilet is choked, you cannot clean it, all the poop is coming out and you cannot do anything? You have to take help, right? You have to take help for a plumber or anything. So, who considers that as a service to the society, or this is the whole devotee community, there is nobody else outside. So that is how Maharaj goes deep, so sensitive. Just related to this, when we were in South India Yatra, we were in Srirangam. And there, because we cannot take our car, so wherever we used to go to that place, we will arrange car for Maharaj. So there the car was arranged by a big person, some rich person in Srirangam. And he gave his car for as long as Maharaj was there, with his Muslim driver. He was with beard and jaliwala cap. So he was a Muslim driver and he used to drive Maharaj every day from Pendal to his room and wherever Maharaj wanted to go. So when we were leaving Srirangam, Maharaj, he just got down for the last time from that car, and the driver also, with respect, he got down. Maharaj embraced him. He said, "Thank you very much. Because of you, our yatra was successful." Now he is a Muslim driver. He has ever heard anything like this? He said, "Because of you, our yatra was successful." Why he said that? Because Maharaj is the focus of all yatra, and if you don't go, who is bringing him? Maharaj, he was bringing. And literally, that Muslim fellow started crying. We were standing there. Literally started crying from his eyes. Tears were coming. He said, "Maharaj, मेरे गाड़ी में बड़े बड़े वीआईपी मंत्री मिनिस्टर बैठते हैं, वो एक शब्द भी मेरे पास बोलते नहीं है और मुझे को देखते भी नहीं है, आप तो धन्यवाद दे रहे हो, क्योंकि आई हैव नेवर सीन यू पर्सन लाइक यू." This is how he touches everybody's heart. How everybody thinks Maharaj is his good friend. Everybody, whoever Maharaj meets, Maharaj touches his heart in some or the other way. That's how Maharaj is. So this is how Maharaj is so deeply thinking about service. What to speak of big leaders and preachers and everything. So even in significant services, driver, plumber who is cleaning all these things, Maharaj is appreciating so much. Now when you come to the next level, I will tell you. So I'm brought up in RSS culture, correct? RSS culture, everybody from RSS, they know that if some program is happening like here inside, one person will be assigned outside to keep their shoes in line. One person is there. So if you go to any RSS program, only if it is RSS, not mixed, all shoes are lined in one line. So I'm used to that culture. So one time Maharaj, we went to a program in Pittsburgh where I started preaching. So Maharaj came, and it was a very cold day. And in America, there are two sets of doors. When you enter, and there is a foyer in between, and there is another set of doors, so that the cold from outside doesn't go into the room. And that room is called foyer, and you keep your shoes there, and you keep overcoat and everything, because inside is heated, outside is very cold. You don't need. So there is a place to hang your coats and everything. And all the shoes people remove. And most of these 95% were Indians, So Maharaj, we came in for that program, and I was walking. So Maharaj, when it is cold, he wears the black canvas shoes. He wears socks and black canvas shoes. So I removed my shoes. Maharaj gave me his bead bag. So I took his bead bag. I went inside and put it near Maharaj's asan where he was sitting. And everybody could understand this Maharaj's bead bag, and I have come, Maharaj has also come. It's like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And I was wondering, why it doesn't take much time for Maharaj to come. Then I opened the door and I saw personally with his hand, he was keeping the shoes next to each other, so that he don't want it to step on the shoes to enter in the room. Now, how many of us we think about this? Shoes. Usually, just step on it and you go. You don't care how the shoes are. You also leave your shoes on them and everything. Correct? But he was, I was half shocked in the sense, yes, I know this system. We have it in RSS. We have not seen in ISKCON, but at least I have seen somewhere. But in RSS, even person, he doesn't do with his hand. He does it with his feet, move those shoes here, there, and makes it in a line. Hardly anybody touches. Maharaj was doing with his hand. And he put all these shoes, and he put his own shoes at the end. Nicely, like kind of a thing. And he made a place, and he, without stepping in shoes, and he walked inside the room. He went and washed his hand, and he came and sat, and he gave lecture. So I was thinking, that time I couldn't get as much. I appreciate, at least one of the RSS thing is in ISKCON also, at least Maharaj is doing, he's keeping his shoes. At that time it didn't click me as much why Maharaj is putting these shoes with hands and everything. I accepted, his Maharaj's humility is like his normal behavior, servant of servant, this kind of things I was thinking. Another after 2 years, we were in Udupi Yatra. And when in Udupi Yatra, Maharaj likes to sit in front of Ananteshwar temple, where Madhvacharya left his to the back to Godhead. So in front of that window, that's Maharaj, whenever he goes to Udupi, that is his favorite place of chanting. So now everybody, all the devotees who came to Udupi, they were all gone for seeing the places and everything. And this is about around 9 o'clock. So I didn't go anywhere that day. So I went to take darshan of Udupi Krishna, and I was coming out and I saw Maharaj coming in front. So I offered my obeisances. Maharaj hugged him and I said, I knew Maharaj is going for chanting. I said, Maharaj, can I join you chanting today? I said, yes, but don't talk. So I said, okay. So we were both walking together, and one Mataji came. She had like a little high heel shoes, and it was like a blessing. She was thinking, nobody is around, Maharaj is alone, and I can go and talk to Maharaj anything I want. So she came running enthusiastically. As she was running, she was, wobbling and she could not walk properly. So she came close to Maharaj about 5 feet, and she removed her shoes and she just kicked her shoes and offered obeisances to Maharaj. And her shoes were like, they're just thrown away. And she stood in front of Maharaj. Now Maharaj became very grave. And Maharaj said, why did you do that? And she didn't understand what Maharaj is saying. What did I do, Maharaj? He said, why did you kick your shoes? Then she thought, what's the big deal about that? We don't think much about shoes kicking it, Then Maharaj said, now see the sensitivity of Maharaj. Maharaj said, can you imagine your life without shoes? Can you imagine your life without shoes? They take you to the temple. They take you everywhere. And because of them, your whole body is protected. That is your service, and you are treating them like this. So this is how Maharaj is so sensitive. Now how many people we think about shoes like this? Correct? I told this story everywhere, but next time when I go outside, the shoes, all the shoes are also same, no change. Correct? But this is what is. Then at that time, I could understand why Maharaj was putting the shoes with his hands, not with the feet. Because this is Uttamadhikari who sees everything spiritual. Till now, till I told you a story, have anybody imagined that shoes are also spiritual? Correct? This is how Uttamadhikari thinks. He thinks shoes are also spiritual because they take you to the temple. They take you everywhere when you are doing Krishna's service. So indirectly they are also doing Krishna's service. And then I realized in Vrindavan, shoes are also spiritual. Why? Krishna is carrying Nanda Baba's shoes on his head. Remember that famous picture? So that is how Maharaj sees everything so deep and so spiritual. So these are the different stages of his sensitivity. One with the devotees who don't recognize any service. Maharaj recognized it as one of the highest service. Second thing is about shoes. Why he didn't put it with his feet, put it with his hand, and understanding the importance of shoes. So he said, this is very nice. Maharaj was so grave, it was not joking. He said, can you imagine your life without shoes? So everything we use, what we use is tadiyan. We are using it as a service to Krishna. So everything Maharaj sees, everything he is using in the service of Krishna. That is how Maharaj's high level of spirituality. And to see the bhangi, even the low class person, I shouldn't say low class, just to understand. And even the shoes as spiritual, that is how Maharaj is so sensitive. So now I have 20 minutes left. Should I continue, or you want to ask some questions for 20 minutes? Because if I go on talking, I will talk for 3 days. So I just don't want to go for just what I want. You can some ask questions, otherwise I can go on. I don't have. Yeah. So I will tell you some stories of the questions. Nobody has any questions? Oh, okay. Till then I will tell you one more story. So, this is how in the morning I was telling how Maharaj knows the heart of his disciples. So I experienced that many times. I'll just tell a couple of stories. When I was in New Vrindavan, we were, in the weekend, we were having a Gurukuli get-together, Gurukul Sammelan. And their parents also came, who are like Prabhupada disciples. There were about 300 devotees. And Maharaj was supposed to inaugurate that Sammelan, that meeting, and he was supposed to address them. And I was supposed to introduce Maharaj. And Maharaj was in his room, and Maharaj told me, whenever they are ready, come and tell me. So I went to Maharaj's room, and we came together. So because I was supposed to introduce Maharaj, I was making in my mind, preparing what to introduce, kind of a thing. And I was about to open the door and enter in the hall. The sentence came in my mind, said, you should hear Krishna Katha from a pure devotee. So I was building that sentence in my mind to introduce about Maharaj. So Maharaj puts his hands on my shoulder from behind and he says, don't introduce me as a pure devotee. Hare Krishna. Is ready?
So many pastimes, and it is so amazed to see how you are able to recall full details, the 5 decades.
Haribol.
This is very experience for me. When you were mentioning about Maharaj in Malaria, and you said Maharaj told one thing that don't tell my parents about my malaria.
Oh, yes.
So explain that to me.
Yeah. So what happened when in 95 Maharaj called me to come to New Vrindavan. So Maharaj was GBC and he called me to assist me in New Vrindavan. So because I had this malaria in Chowpatty, I got relapse malaria when I went to New Vrindavan. And I was admitted to the Wheeling Hospital. And they don't have any medicine for malaria in America. I'm talking about in 95. And America was considered a deadly disease in America. If you get malaria, you die. There's no medicine. I'm talking about 95. So in India, we used to have colloquial at that time. So when I was sick, I was there 3 days and I was a study case for all the medical students in Wheeling Hospital because they don't know the patient of malaria. So they are studying me and my symptoms and everything. And they got me this colloquial from Africa where malaria is all the time. So this is when I could understand why Maharaj said, don't tell my parents. Because it was considered like a deadly disease. In 95, I'm talking about medical advance is not that developed. Yeah, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Wonderful. Prabhuji, we heard about New Vrindavan Pastimes. Then this peaceful incident, when it was happened, and this Udupi Yatra and this Raja in Pastimes at Jagannath Puri, place.
That is in 1989. We were 88 actually. We went to Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra. I'm sorry, not Rath Yatra. We went for Yatra, Jagannath Puri. No, this is Jagannath Puri. Pittsburgh, I'm talking about the shoes, around 97 probably, and it's 96, 97. And Udupi Yatra is the last Udupi Yatra. I don't remember the year, probably 2008. Yeah, 8, right? 14? Something, yeah, something. Last Udupi Yatra. Hari Bol. Hari Hari. Oh,
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the incredibly nourishing.
I got inspired by you.
No,
Yes.
I was just wondering when you said about Maharaj practicing yoga and chakras also, because it's the first time I'm hearing that he would do also the chakras. Do you know anything?
He don't do that anymore.
He doesn't do this
No,
anymore.
no. He used to do that long time ago, when there was not much, congregation was not so big, and we were in Vrindavan just relaxing. But normally, he used to sit on, it is called Muladhar, You put the heels on your anus so that you can hold your thing. So he used to do that. Practically used to see him moving his feet and adjusting and sitting. But now he don't do that anymore. He did that probably, I could say, till he was 50 or something, maybe. But after that, I don't see him. He just goes and sits straight. Otherwise, it used to take 1-2 minutes to adjust sitting, and he will properly sit like that. But for a long time, he's not doing that. Okay. But doctor told him to do some exercise, so we got him a cycle. He used to do cycling. We had it in his room, just to keep some movements. Yeah.
Thank you.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the classes. I want to understand that you said now that there was used to be a problem between misunderstanding of brahmacharis, and there also obviously as a grihastha we most of the time judge people immediately. Can you just give us some practical tips, like in every day we can go through it and maybe that can apply in your life so that we can get into that position of not judging other people and everything? Because
So when I was leaving for New Vrindavan, I went to Maharaj's room, and Maharaj already told me, this will be a culture shock for you. Then I was like already wondering what is culture shock, because then I went to him and said, Maharaj, I said, what should be my mood? And this is the thing you can apply all in your spiritual life. It has helped me a lot. He said, do 2 things. He said, do not judge, do not compare, don't take sides. And then he said, manage the temple. Can you imagine? As a temple president, Acharya Ratna Prabhu knows you cannot do without judgment, you cannot do without comparing, and you cannot do without taking sides. Correct? But this is what spiritual life. Ma said, in general, this should be your principle. So for devotees, this should be the principle. Don't judge, don't take sides, and do not compare. Correct? That way, you will feel you are servant of the servant of the servant. So these 3 things are like, what is they called? Prerequisites. Right? And as I told you, Maharaj do not judge. Correct? But he corrects you in such a way that, of course he is a spiritual master. Correct? But he is, Maharaj later on explained to me all these 3 things, how practically you can, He said, all these 3 things you can do with a compassion. Compassion. Unless you judge, you cannot show your compassion. You cannot, you cannot say that, okay, eating onion and garlic is okay, You have to judge. But there should be a compassion. Not that I am better than you. Correct? That is called judgment. You feel that you are doing and nobody else is doing, that is judging. So if you do these things with compassion, definitely we have to compare. But comparing, who I should take association, because there are all many elevated souls, but I feel attraction to somebody, even though somebody else is there, I do not have that much heart connection with them. I like them, I respect them. But if you start comparing, that is an offense. And third thing, don't take sides. Because both sides in ISKCON are talking about what Prabhupada said. I know, I go to GBC meetings, They have so many different kinds of now, what they call subcommittees, correct? because the GBC don't want to deal. So don't take sides. See, anything happening in ISKCON, both sides speaking from Prabhupada books. Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that. So both are right. Correct? So if you are right, you are offending others also. So unless it's your service, don't compare. And compare in a compassionate way to help the society to grow, not with envious mood. Correct? Because we need to compare. As a manager, we have to. But at the same time, you should have a compassionate mood. Then Krishna will give you intelligence. I'll give you one example. In New Vrindavan, in early 90s, there was a big controversy in ISKCON. And it was about whether to put peacock feather on Gauranga Mahaprabhu or no. What is your opinion? What should we do? Should we put peacock feather on pujaris? If you have any questions, whether we should peacock feather on Gauranga Mahaprabhu or no? So Matajis are saying yes. What about Prabhujis? We put here. Okay, so you are all agreeing to this. Okay. So there was a lot of disagreement. The disagreement was coming from Gaur Govind Swami. He considered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he has come, don't disturb his mood. So it was this kind of a thing. So it became to the end. So in New Vrindavan, now I am a head pujari. Now there are the disciples of Gaur Govind Maharaj and there are disciples of other Maharaj. So they want to put it and they don't want to put it. I have to compare. I have to judge. And I have to take side. So I went to Maharaj and I asked this question to Maharaj. 1 second he just gave the solution. What a wonderful, visionary, without comparing, without judging, pleasing everybody. He said, whenever Gaur Govind Maharaj disciple want to dress, let them do whatever they want. Wherever others decide, let them do whatever they want. Both should respect each other's opinion. This is how Maharaj solves the problems. Okay? Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for the nice nectarian class. Just had the curiosity, if you compare 50 years back or 40 years back, Maharaj's engagement with a lot of devotees, that time it was not so big. But now across globe, many devotees, many congregations, many duties that he is performing for pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Now how he manages his time as per your practical observation to Maharaj, which we can learn from him. With his busy schedule, still he takes time and cares for others.
One time we asked this question in Brahmachari class. I said, Maharaj, how should be Brahmachari schedule? And Maharaj said, do your morning sadhana, is your personal absorption, and whole day, whatever Krishna sends, you just do it as a seva. Right? Keep busy yourself whole day. Morning, individual sadhana is there. And we see that the same mood of Maharaj, morning sadhana he does. He gets up in time, chants his 16 rounds. If he's not giving class or sometimes he's giving class, every day he listens to one lecture of Prabhupada. One day, every day. That's why somebody was mentioning in the morning about Jagai Magai. And many times you hear in Maharaj's lecture, just I was listening to Srila Prabhupada, Many times he says that because he listens to Prabhupada's lecture every day. He reads for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour every day. And then whatever comes, previously when only Radha Gopinath temple was there, so he will guide, he trained me as a pujari. He trained me as a preacher. Because one-to-one, anything we come, we go to Maharaj. Because we had. Now he cannot do that. Here Maharaj has 10,000 disciples and another 5,000 aspiring. So it is very difficult to go and deal with everybody. So that's why he developed this counselor system, and you learn from counselors. Now it's hardly anybody, except for there are like thousands of devotees, except for your name is this. Other than that, they have not heard anything directly from Maharaj. That is the only connection they have. Your name is this. Correct? Nowadays. Nobody has that connection which we used to have at that time. And as Mataji was saying, because Italy, not much devotee there. Maharaj's good friend Matsyavatara Prabhu is there. He will tell many things about Italy in India too. So he used to go just because he loves Matsyavatara Prabhu. Correct? So, but they got the association there because there is no congregation as much. In America, in the beginning when I was there were hardly 2 or 3 devotees in America. So Maharaj will give his association. But now we have Sadhu Sangha, we get 3,000 disciples, devotees there. So he cannot do that with 3,000 disciples. Correct? So, but he is busy all day, all day, doing some phone calls or talking. So one time I asked Maharaj, Maharaj, I saw some kind of Maharaj has some kind of priority over other. So I asked Maharaj one time, Maharaj, what is your priority when you deal with the devotees? Then Maharaj said, my first priority is serve my God brothers. The second priority is serve their disciples. And third priority is my disciples. So this is how we see. He is more happy to serve his God brothers, and he is more happy his disciples serve his God brothers. Correct? Because he himself likes it. So that's his priority, and that is the way he is there. He deals with it. And whole day he's practically busy, doing this, that, phone calls, receiving phone calls, meeting people, sometimes giving classes, reading, whole day. Sometimes. Just last year he retired from all the responsibilities. And that time we were in Belgaum, just recently, about 3-4 months ago. And Belgaum, he said that now I am free from all the responsibilities. Only one responsibility is there as a spiritual master. So this year we can see he is going more and more, and he is giving initiations more and more, which was very rare. 2 times he stopped giving initiation, and I was there both the time, and I know the cause of both the times why he stopped. For the same reason practically. I'll tell you one time, everybody is curious. It was in 1997 or something around that time. Maharaj read one, it's in my book also, I don't exactly remember what purport, and that purport Prabhupada says, spiritual master should not take many disciples because he has to take their karma and he suffers. So that day he gave a lecture and he was very sick. He gave the shortest class in the history, about 3 or 5 minutes. He just said couple, 2-3 sentences, and he said, any questions? And one devotee asked questions, and Maharaj said, I already answered it. And he said, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, he got up. 5 minutes maximum, he gave class. And whole day he was very sick. And he was meeting people and everything, even though he was sick. In the evening, I went to his room, and Maharaj, you are sick, we don't have to, I can go, I can give the class, otherwise we can cancel. I said, no, we will go. So in a car, Maharaj was sitting behind, my wife was driving, I was sitting in front. Maharaj was very quiet, and suddenly he spoke. I said, did you understand today's purport? And I said, I vaguely remembered something. Prabhupada writes, spiritual master should not accept many disciples. And he said, I am going to stop giving initiations, because most of my disciples are not following 4 principles and they are not chanting, and that is why I am sick all the time. So next 5 years he didn't give any initiations. Same thing happened another after 4-5 years. Maharaj got sick, so he didn't give initiation. And one time he told, if all my disciples follow 4 regulative principles strictly, I will never get sick. So he wants to keep busy, but there are some limitations to his body. Another time, one time, he was in New Vrindavan. We had a program in my house, and one call from California came. And they wanted immediately Maharaj to talk. And I gave the phone to Maharaj, and Maharaj said, people expect too much from me. So these are, why? Because he cannot approach and guide everybody that he used to do, and he does it even in the small centers, even today, where there is possibility is there. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
But I am going to... Wonderful. That is why I was thinking, if you want, I'll be more happy than going to Paniyati. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
How many want to come?
Are you happy to hear the katha? So let us thank His Grace Vrindavan Prabhu. He came all the way from Pune to share his wonderful association which he had with Guru Maharaj, so that all of us can also relish. So now we'll have some little kirtans and prasadam will be there for everyone. And tomorrow Vrindavan Prabhu will be going and giving Bhagavatam class in Albert Road. And tomorrow in the evening, 5 to 8, he will be also doing second session of this Maharaj Katha in New Alipur. If you type in your Google map, ISKCON New Alipur, you will get it just walking distance from Srila Prabhupada birthplace. So tomorrow he will be doing part 2 of same continuation. He has also written a book.
Tomorrow is Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Can we have a little early? 4 to 7?
Okay.
5 to 8 is too late.
Okay, 4 to 7. Okay.
Therefore tomorrow we'll
Yeah.
have to go to work.
Yeah. Tomorrow, so we'll have 4 to 7 around in ISKCON New
Is it
Alipur.
okay, 4 to 7?
So those, okay. So 4 to 7 in New Alipur, and it is just near Prabhupada birthplace. And if you can type in Google Maps ISKCON New Alipur, you will get the address. So let us thank His Grace Vrindavan Prabhu for coming here by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Now we'll have some kirtans and then prasadam.
We'll sing the same tune of Vrindavan. Can I have kartal?
Dance?
Yeah.
Devotees can stand and we can have standing and dancing kirtans. Okay? Haribo.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can think that you are on the bank of Yamuna with Maharaj. Chant loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare